Hey, I'm Tom Preece, creator of Rise Outdoors Apparel Company, and welcome to Season 1 of Rise Outdoors TV. How did I get into the outdoors? For me, it started when I was 9. My dad took me up to a local-ish river. It was about an hour drive away, hour and 20-minute drive away, and we pulled up and I got my set of waders on, and we went down to the river, and all I could see was salmon and rainbow, and my fascination really grew from there, and it turned into an annual thing for me and him, and to this day, in fact, I fish the exact same river every year. I've never missed a trout opener there, and it's a lot to do with memories and the nostalgia around the fish making their journey up that river and spawning and reproduction, and I'm just humbled that I had that opportunity when I was young. After that, it was taking journeys to the rivers, different rivers with buddies of mine, and it wasn't until I met my now wife. Her father was into deer hunting and duck and goose, and he took me out when we first started dating, literally a month into it, and I sat in a tree. I didn't have a bow or anything with me, and just being out in that solitude of nature was incredible. So back then, that was about 14 years ago, back then it was a lot quicker to get your hunting and safety course. So I signed up, I got it done, I bought a bow, and again, went out to the same tree I was in the first time he took me out. Wouldn't you know it, about a half an hour before sunset, this little buck come walking out, and I pulled the trigger. From that point on, I was hooked. I had buck fever. I was already starting to buy all my camo and new gear, and thinking about other ways we could get better spots and set up, and reading books and watching YouTube, and man, I was just a sponge for information, and ever since then, I grew a whole new appreciation for the outdoors, and here I am today, many years later. The river is what really gets me, and then and now hunting, 14 years into hunting, and I've added that to my repertoire, and it's just an incredible feeling, and you know it by getting outdoors. And even if you're just hiking or whatever you're doing, if you can't take some enjoyable measure out of being outdoors in nature and watching how everything goes, it's just, I have no words. There's no words for it. It's an incredible feeling. How did Rise Outdoors Apparel start? We started about 3 years ago. We started first almost 4 years ago with 9 Apparel, and that stemmed from us closing down a tackle store. We were starting to do hoodies and hats all on our own, and we subbed it out at first, and things weren't going my way, so I'm stubborn, and I went out one day and I bought all the equipment to do our own stuff, and I came home with it, and my wife Stacy shook the old finger, but as it goes, it's sometimes easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. So I got all the gear and equipment and a whole bunch of shirts and hats, and just started learning. From there, it moved on to friends asking for shirts, and all of a sudden businesses started to give us a chance, and we started really rolling with it, and I felt comfortable enough where I came home from work one day. I had this idea in my head and sat right down at the computer right away and designed this logo, and the same one that's everywhere around here now, and called it Rise. And for me, Rise wasn't originally anything to do with the word itself. It was more at first about rising trout. I was always, and still am, a fisherman at heart, a river fisherman, and as things started to evolve, and me and my wife kind of laughed over it and said, yeah honey, I'm gonna have this big apparel brand, and this is my goal, and this is what I want to do. And we both had a laugh, and a few weeks later we had a website, and a few weeks after that, we were starting to get orders. From there, it just started to evolve, and next thing I know, people were contacting me outside of the fishing community, from the hunting community, the snowmobile world, motocross, people who loved camping. And all of a sudden, the word Rise became so much more than just what it was intended for. All of a sudden, I started seeing a trend happening, and I just rolled with it. And all of a sudden, Rise became about, rising up, rise and grind, rise above. It became about motivation. So whether that's in your everyday life, or whether that is motivating somebody to get outdoors and enjoy something that they normally wouldn't do. The idea behind our show here is motivating somebody. I remember sitting at home watching fishing shows and hunting shows with my dad when I was young, and would see these people on TV going, man, I wish I could do that. So that's kind of what I wanted our show to take after, was to that father and son, or mother and son, or daughter, or grandpa, or whoever, sitting at home watching this on a Saturday morning or a Monday evening or whatever day of the week it is, and youth looking at that parent or guardian saying, I want to do that. So now it's about motivating anybody, and especially youth, to get outdoors and enjoy everything that we have to offer. Whether you're in Canada, whether you're in the United States, there's so much freedom outdoors to go and enjoy all of these great activities. What motivates me to keep pushing forward? Honestly, the biggest thing for me is seeing people's faces and enjoyment. So whether they're harvesting an animal, or making that first jump on a snowmobile or a dirt bike, or even watching a kid catch a fish for the first time, that stuff for me is motivation like you wouldn't believe. For me to be pushed in that forward momentum constantly is natural. There's no other word I have for it, but taking my kids out and hunting with them and fishing with them and just watching the excitement on their face, that motivates the crap out of me. Having an influence and helping other people, adults, youth, doesn't matter, do the things that they want to do, and giving them the right information to do so, has let me take the Rise brand way further beyond just clothing. We've created such a lifestyle that the clothing is just the cherry on top, really. For Rise, we stand for so many more things, which is, I think, what I'm the most proud of, to be honest with you. It started as an apparel company and has grew into this huge outdoors lifestyle community that I never expected in my wildest dreams. I am so excited and pleased to announce Season 1 of Rise Outdoors TV. Let the journey begin and find your adventure.